Evening all. Welcome back to Beyond the Lane episode 34. Hope everybody's keeping well. Spurs fans, are you ready? Big game, 1 day to go to tomorrow night final. So tonight, anybody's welcome to join. Put the link in the chat. Stay as little or as long as you want. You're all welcome to come in and give us your thoughts on the game tomorrow. Let's welcome in our guests. So I was going to say Anthony, but he's just popped away. Let's say hello to Adrian. Adrian, evening to you. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Thanks for the invite. I enjoy doing these shows, so yeah, I mean, like, gives me something to do, and I get a chance to vent my spleen now and again.
Cheers, man. Nige, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Good, mate. Looking forward. Getting nervous now for tomorrow's game, I must admit. Getting a few butterflies in the tummy, but excited. Yeah, thanks for having me, as always.
Nerves are kicking in, right?
They are.
Let's welcome in Anthony, our resident Manchester United fan. How are you, man?
I'm good, thank you. Hope everyone's good.
Thank you for joining us, buddy. So tonight, guys, we're just going to be talking about a massive game tomorrow. Really, it's just it can go anywhere we want it to go. I've obviously got some questions for everybody on the panel. We could talk about lineups, tactics. We could talk about obviously the Manchester United perspective as well. We've got Anthony here. He can let us know how he's feeling about tomorrow, what he's worried about with Spurs, and what he thinks. Does he feel that Man United are favourites? So we'll find out. We'll find out, because I haven't spoken to Anthony, so I don't know where his head's at right now. Now, Anthony's been on the show throughout the season. I think this is the third time you're on, right, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And every time you've
That's
come
right.
on, it's been a loss, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Let's hope that continues.
So look, hopefully that will continue that trend. But look, let's say to a few hellos to people in the chat. Let's have a look and see who's here. Badger, how you doing, man? Big up, Dan. Let's win this cup. We must win this cup. Big up, Nige, and everybody. Nige, big up, Badger. Guy, evening to you, buddy. Hope you're good. Thank you for joining us. Synthwave. Yeah, tune. That's the intro. We are ready. Yeah, I hope so. I've got a show, but if you're up for it, I'll pop on. Big up, Tony. Big up, Dan, panel and chat. Still going for Spurs 1, Man United 3, Ange out.
Mm-hmm.
Zero creativity in the midfield is going to destroy us. Well, I hope you're wrong, Tony. Just for tomorrow, we've got to beat Man U, man. We can't not beat them. I mean, they're not great. It's our time to win a final. But look, we'll get into it. Since October 2022, no wins against us. So that's against Man United and Spurs. Phil Coys, evening to you. He's just put a little picture of a trophy there. So yeah, hopefully it's a sign of things to come. So look, guys, let's start off with Anthony. And just how are you feeling, man? Are you excited about tomorrow? Are you looking forward to it? Or, what's your thoughts, man?
I am crapping myself. I am nervous right now. I'm nervous because I don't know what to expect. So yes, it's a bit of a sticky one for me. I don't know where it's gonna go.
How do you feel? I mean, Man United, they've been losing every week like Spurs, haven't they, in the league? Almond's been there a little while now. From like his perspective, he's been talking very different to like how Ange has been talking. So he's been talking about, every game matters in the Premier League. He keeps playing the strongest lineups. He's kind of played down the importance of the Europa League. And then if you look at Ange is all about the Europa League. He's been resting players in the league. He's putting everything into this competition. So two completely different ways of kind of thinking about this game coming up.
Yeah.
What's your thought on how Almiron's approaching this competition and his attitude around the Premier League?
I think he's handling all the camaraderie and the pressure well. To be honest, I know he's playing everything down and all that stuff, but I guess he's trying to take the pressure off his players. Because it is a trophy that the players need to win to kind of get some kind of solace from the season. It's been a terrible season, so this is a game which is it kind of gives a test, a kind of pointer to where the team is going under Amorim. But for me personally, I don't think this game will be a pointer as to where Amorim will go. I think it's a game where okay, it's good to win a trophy. When Man United was supposed to be winning trophies, any final we're in, no matter how bad the season has been, you've got to go and win it. But I think this final, whether I don't think if we lose, it should be Amorim. He's not good enough for the team. He's not good. He's not the coach to drive us forward. To be honest, I've had the thought over the past few weeks. It might be a bit controversial. I think us going into the Champions League will be a step back for Amorim, if I'm being honest. I think it will set him back. I still think he needs a season where he can train these players without midweek distractions. But other than that, like I said before, this is a trophy. If you've got to be in it to win it. So at the same time, it's very, very key, very, very crucial.
So were you in agreement with him, playing a full strength side at the weekend? Did you agree with that, or were you worried that you could pick up some injuries to key players before this game tomorrow?
I approached that game with Chelsea with the viewpoint that some of the key players will need rhythm. Taking them out for that game it can cause some injuries, but at the same time, you need some sort of rhythm in your game if you're going to be playing Friday and then Wednesday again. So, and it's a crucial final as well. So, some of the key players in there, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Maguire, they're going to be playing, arguably going to be playing the full 90. So I think they needed some rhythm. I thought it was the right decision, and judging by the way the game went, Amorim made the right choice. You lost
the game. You lost the game, didn't you, to Chelsea?
Yeah, we lost. Yeah, well, I thought it was unlucky, but we'll see. We'll see how things fare out on Wednesday. But I mean, we got the good news today saying that Joshua Zirkzee, Diogo Dalot, and Lenny Yoro are back in the squad. So which is very, very good news.
Adrian, anything you want to add to this conversation regarding the attitudes of the managers?
Very
different.
A bit interesting because I've heard other fans turn around and say that, Man United fans say that, being in the Champions League is more important for us than the actual winning the Europa League trophy. And Man United have nearly won 70 major trophies in their history, so they've won trophies recently as well. So it would lessen the impact. If you lost, you still won 2 trophies recently. So it sort of lessens the impact. With us, we are more, we're hungry for it because we haven't won a trophy for 17 years. We haven't won a European one for 40 years. But we won 3 European trophies, so our record's pretty good. Lost one final to final, didn't we? But yeah, so for us, look, if they win or we win, I think we're going to sneak it by the old goal, but Andy would expect that because I'm a Spurs fan anyway, so it's going to be normal, isn't it, right? But both teams are not equipped to be in a Champions League, but one of us is going to be in it. And so then that depends, all right, you're guaranteed the 90 mil you got to spend. We're all the rumours of the players that Man United are linked with and what Spurs are linked with. We've been linked with about over 120 so far. And I did make lists in the end. I give up. I just stopped. But nothing is going to be done until this match is decided because that's going to affect their transfer and ours.
They've already agreed a fee with Cunha, though, haven't they, United?
Yeah, there's a rumour that
true.
they've paid the 62 mil, but then they're all supposed to be for Delap as well. You got Xerxes, and you got, I mean, how many forwards you want? You know, I mean, like, who are they actually in for? I mean, like, Cunha would be the more experienced player out of the two, right? Delap's got great potential, so we always end up with players with potential.
So they're not waiting to hear about the outcome of tomorrow. They're just kicking on whatever. They're in the Champions League, they're not in the Champions League. They're getting into it. I mean, Anthony, is this truth? Is this truth in this?
Yeah. So I heard from the Cunha deal that Cunha wants to move to United regardless of Champions League. So United have moved from that viewpoint of his that they want to see this transfer quickly, and I guess he'll be a crucial focal point for Amorim in the 2 number 10 positions. But I guess with the lap one, I think he's waiting to find out the outcome of the final. Even we're being linked with Gyökeres as well. So these guys are waiting for whether we're going to be in the Champions League. And in my personal viewpoint, if you're waiting to see what we're gonna, if you're waiting to see what's gonna happen, whether we're in the Champions League or not, don't come. It's my viewpoint.
Nige, I just want to bring you in here about the attitudes of the 2 managers. Very different.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. In all fairness, I've agreed with Ange for the most part for resting players, just simply because of the amount of injuries we've had, the main players we've lost over the last couple of weeks. I just didn't think we could afford to lose anyone else. At the same time, I watched United the other day against Chelsea, thinking they put their full team out. Hopefully they get a couple of injuries. I thought United were brilliant. I thought they were really unlucky, and they looked like they had a bit about them, and that concerned me because obviously when I'm watching Spurs in the Premier League, we're so disjointed at the moment. So yeah, watching them wasn't good for my health because I actually thought United looked pretty good. Going back to the transfers, this is the difference between the 2 sides. See, Spurs have to wait to see if they get Champions League football before we can make any sort of signings. United are United; they just sign players regardless.
I thought they had financial problems though, so I don't get it. Anthony, did they have financial problems or not?
Yeah. So we are we cannot spend as frivolously as we have in the past. I think we with the Cunha deal, I think it's going to be paid in installments. So we're not committing to the full 60 million yet. So I guess they're moving with confidence that because Cunha wants to come so quickly, they're trying to do it quickly as well. So I guess we are in financial difficulty right now, but and we can't spend as frivolously as we have been. So they're trying to be very smart with how they approach the window. But I think with the amount of departures we have, there's as many as 10 players could be leaving this summer. I guess the club is moving with that viewpoint in mind that okay, we can start to make some quick kind of moves to stem the tide.
Anthony, what is your thoughts on Man United right now in regards to? I mean, obviously you're not in a good position in the league. It's been so many defeats, like Spurs, one of your worst seasons, and even it's got worse since he's come in. And he's kind of stuck to his philosophy. He probably hasn't got all the players he wants. He hasn't had any signings, but he's stuck to it, even when they're losing week in, week out. Now, what is it with him that, because if you look at it, nothing's really improving. Okay, you're in the Europa League Final, which is fantastic, of course. It's a chance to win a trophy. But what have you seen in Amorim's football since he's been here, which kind of gives you hope for the future?
I think I said this last time when I was on here. There are certain parts of matches where I feel with his players, with his own sort of with his own his own players in the squad. I think the team can be able to compete properly and I think in certain games it hasn't been a full 90 minutes, but there are spurts in certain games where I'm thinking, okay, he has an idea, he has an approach, he has a philosophy, and that's good enough for me to move forward. I think for me, the off the pitch, the way he's carried himself, the way he's spoken, the way he's stuck to his guns, and the way it's my way or the highway. You know, I think that's given me enough belief that if he can be backed, we're on the right trajectory. So for me, some fans have been saying, "Oh, he needs to be sacked." You know, United have been doing that for how many years right now? We're still stuck in the same cycle. So it's better we change how we approach these certain circumstances. Give the manager time. Give him the backing he needs. And I can say backing in terms of recruitment, but we need to recruit smart. We need to actually recruit players that actually fit his mode of playing, and actually fit the ethos of the club as well. I think part of our problem as to why we can't compete in the Premier League is because of the physicality and intensity. The players we've bought over the years they've been players that have been signed because of their name or because they've done a few flashy things on YouTube. So we need to sign players who are actually physically ready to compete in the Premier League week in, week out.
Anybody on Nige, Adrian, got any questions on Almiron's kind of his start at Man United for Anthony? Any burning questions?
Yeah.
I know, Adrian, you don't really watch many other teams other than Spurs.
No,
just observation.
I mean, even if you got Sky and other channels, unless you're watching every Premier League game when it comes on, and if you're in the mood for it, because I see Man United every time we play them, so it's 3 times this season. I can't recall if I've watched them play another game or not. No, so I don't really know their players, and I only got a few older players in their team, and I think I know we're going to do this. Depends. I mean, if we press them like mad, and we can like stifle Bruno, we win. We win. If he has a stellar performance, we're in danger of losing the game. I mean, got good players, but I think there's I'd have to ask Anthony because I'm not sure. When I've watched them play, I mean, in the game we won at the Lane in the league, I mean, you did have a couple of chances to score a couple of goals before we scored. So they are a threat on the wings and flanks, but I just thought at the back and in the midfield, there seemed to be a distinct lack of pace, Anthony. Am I right? Or
You're completely right. Very right.
So that could be an issue for them. So, and if you haven't got a pace, you don't play the high line.
Yeah.
So logically, I think very unusual for a Man United side. I go back to Bessler and Charlton. They always played with a centre forward and 2 wingers and played flying attacking football, hence the Red Devil name. You know what I mean? But like, I just think, I think you're going to try and get us on the break. I think you'll sit back. Unless we're that crappy with the ball, we allow you to get forward more than what we'd like. I think we'll press, and we're physical in the top 4. We're going to be physical. So, I mean, depends who we pick as our front 4. We know our back 7 are going to be, but we know that but the front 4, and it's a question who plays in the cam because we haven't got a 10 now. We lost 3 of our best midfielders, but we're still a threat because. It depends if like Sonny's definitely going to start. So he either starts on the left or he starts in the centre of the 3 when we go 4-2-3-1. Not as a 10 because he's not a 10, but you could play Solanke in that position and play Richarlison up front to really get in amongst. If Maguire's playing, all depends who's playing back for you, right? And then you'd have Sonny on the left and Johnson on the right, and Solanke's got quick feet. We have our options at the 10. I mean, I doubt he'll start Odebert in the 10. He could because he's the most skillful player at the club. That's according to other players, right? I mean, as fans, we still need to see a lot more from some of our young players, but because we are a young team. But yeah, I think. Go on, Dan.
Any particular questions for Anthony around how they're getting on at the moment, or Nige, have you got one maybe?
It's not really a question. I just find that from what I'm hearing you say, Anthony, it sounds very much like what a lot of us Spurs fans were saying at the end of last season after Postecoglou's first season. You know, we see bits, we see something in the odd game. You know, a 5-minute spell or 10-minute spell that gives us that hope. And I think I said last time that you were on that I'm not sure whether Amarin's the man. You know, I think United might be too big for him, but he hasn't been able to have a transfer window. He's not bought his own players in yet, so it'll be interesting to see what he does. But I think he's very much, from the outside looking in, it seems very much like Postecoglou. Certainly in the way he plays as well. Not obviously not with the fullbacks inverting as much, but I think they play quite a similar style or seem to. Am I right there? Or
What, Manchester United style?
yeah, Man United and Tottenham seem to have quite a similar style. I'm not sure
I
whether
think
that's
Man United's a bit more controlled, isn't it, Anthony? Is that right? They like to keep possession, kind of. You tell us, man. You watch them week in, week out. How do they play?
Yeah. So you know, Amrim wants more control, and I guess you know the 3-4-3 gives him that. But when there is a chance to break, you know, the squad is actually very good at that. We've got players who can break forward quickly. But you know when we're in possession, that's where you know the team starts to feel a bit disjointed because it's not made for the control Amram needs. So I guess that's what he'll be trying to address in the transfer window.
Interesting with Palace because they turned us over. They played a 3-4-3 as well. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because Ange always surprises you with his lineups. If he put 3 in the midfield and put Sarah and Bentancur and Basuma and just went with a front 3, because that is a lot of energy in there. Then there's a lot of energy in there. So, or he might go with a 4-2-3-1 and then like see how it goes. And if you do get you know cause us more problems than we think, then and you will cause us problems because both teams are going to cause each other problems. It's a final. You always get threatened. You always get threats. So then he could change it. So we have got options even though we've got injuries. Yeah, it's just
there's a question from Audio Artisan. Evening to you. What's the feeling of Kobe Mainu? Seems to have gone quiet this season. That's a good point. You know, we haven't seen a lot of him play. You know, last season we saw him in the international competition. He was a good player. What's going on with him? Why is he not playing? What's happening?
Yeah, so he's had a few injury issues.
Okay.
So I think he's had 2 spells out this season. So which has of course stopped his flow and development a bit. And of course Amram, a new manager, a new approach, a new system. You know, it won't. It's not something that he can be adapting to quickly. So it has got a bit of time. He has had a bit of time to, you know, see what Amram's approach is about. And the thing is, Amram's been playing in different positions as well, which hasn't helped him as well. So I guess he's both Amram and Mainu are trying to learn from each other. But I guess hopefully next season we'll see the best of him again because he has played a lot of games over the past year. And for a young player like him, it is easy to get burnt out.
Vince Bergval's definitely out. He's playing no part in this game.
Yeah, I just seen the notes of the press conference. You're right, Adrian. He's definitely not playing.
So it's got to be Bentancur and Basuma. You know, it's got to be Bentancur with one of those. You know, I think Basuma's one of the luckiest players on this planet because I don't want him at the football club. I support him while he's there, like I do every player and every manager. He's lucky to find himself in a final, as are, you know, because we know if we had a fit squad, like even Bentancur's position would be under threat because you'd have Madison, Kulusevski, and Bergval, and Bentancur 3 from 4, unless you push Decky out. Mind you, then final they might push Decky out in the wing because he holds the ball up more. But we haven't got those players, so I won't carry on.
Look, let's get into the game, tomorrow, I mean, we're skirting around it a bit, aren't we? Talking about Amrim. But before we do that, I want Anthony's views on Ange. And, you know, you've seen what's happened this season with Spurs. You know, it's been our worst season in history in the league. But we're in the Europa League Final. I can't remember when you came on the show. It was probably... I think it was before the Carabao Cup match, wasn't it? I think that's when you came on.
Yeah.
in the cup. Yeah. So since then, things have really gone downhill. And Ange has been under so much scrutiny. What's your thoughts on Ange and why it's gone so badly wrong for him?
Oh, I could say the easy excuse and say he hasn't had his key players for the best part of the season. But again, he's in his second second full. How many seasons now? This is his second season.
Second.
Yeah. So if you've got injuries, if you know there's gonna be injury troubles, you know, you got to have some sort of way where you're gonna adapt your style, you're gonna adapt to the way teams are playing. And for me, he just hasn't done that. And I think it's just gone pear-shaped as a result. Again, his high intensity style are the players not responding to that? We can see it through the injuries and all that stuff, but I guess I don't know what Ange's philosophy is. If I'm being honest, every time I watch Spurs, like I see every time I watch that, I'm like, okay, this looks good, and then a few minutes later, I'm thinking, okay, what's going on here? There's too many wishy-washy things going on in Tottenham's game, which is why I'm thinking, okay, Ange, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? And again, the players that he's got at his disposal, he's losing Maddison and Kulusevski and Bergwell, and so I'm thinking, how is he going to approach that now that he hasn't got those three players? You just don't know, and that's been his problems. Fans, I'm sure you guys don't know what he's going to do when these kind of key players are out. I think that's his problem. There's no clarity. There's no how can I put it? There's no vision where people can get behind, and that's been his problem for much of the second part, his second season. For the first season, I thought Tottenham looked really, really good. I really enjoyed the football, but again, Ange hasn't been able to build on that, which is his problem.
Okay, Nige, Tony's question, because what's your thoughts on it? Almiron is a much better coach than Ange. Big up, Tony.
Yeah, big up, Tony. This is a really difficult one for me because, like I said, last time I was on and Anthony was on, I was very much like, what has he done? Effectively, yes, he's won leagues in Portugal, trophies in Portugal, but the Portuguese league is, again, not the strongest league. Saying that, I do rate him as a coach, and let's be honest, what's Ange done apart from win trophies in, and let's be honest, second-rate leagues? But you can only win trophies where you're managing, right? So I think the jury's out on him still. I think he seems like a good coach. I think by the way he talks, he seems to know what he's talking about. But he's one that I'm not going to make a firm decision on until I've seen what he does next season. So for me, I'm very much on the fence with him. I think he seems like a good coach, but like I said before, and I say it again, I just think that Manchester United might be a bit too big for him in the long term.
Too small a sample for Almiron at the moment.
Yeah, he's not had a proper transfer window or anything.
We get this all the time, but like it's just, and with Ange, look, I mean, he said today in his presser, he's not quitting if he's winning the trophy. He'd like to stay and have a crack at the Champions League, so we know that for sure. But he's not staying; he's going. I mean, I think Paratici's probably already picked the manager to come in already, and it's like the recruitment. When people talk about our new manager and getting players in, they're all club signings, and what gets me is they say, like, there's a bit of some fans are flapping, our Spurs fans, oh yeah, but we need to get a manager in, because if we don't get a manager in and get rid of Ange straight away, then what happens if they're getting players in? Well, if you've got a football philosophy at your club of way you play, you bring a manager in that matches that philosophy, and your recruitment team, which is usually 5 or 6 people, scouts, director of football, blah, 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 they're constantly bringing those players in. On the continent, if you're manager of Barcelona, they bring the players in. Mind you, they're always usually good players anyway, but they bring them in, I mean, it's the same with us. If we haven't got a list of players in like Paratici was before, you know, about 5 in every position we need, and he'll know, and the rest of the recruitment team at the club, there's something serious wrong, because the window opens on June the 1st. Right, there's a short break for that World Club Championship, but that won't stop people talking. It just means you won't sign during that little window. And then it goes into like about 2.5 weeks into the season. And you want your players in well before then, because like you want them on the pre-season training ground. And you want to get them game time if you brought anyone new in. So, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay. So, Anthony, do you rate Ange? Just tell us. It doesn't sound like you do. Do you think he's a good coach? Just tell him. Would you rather have Almiron than Ange? That will answer it for you.
Yes. I will say that purely based on the viewpoint that I've rated Almiron for a long time, ever since before Sporting. So when he came in, I was very happy. But yeah, based on that fact alone, yeah, I rate Almiron better than Ange.
Let's bring in Dan. Evening, Dan. How are you doing, man? Thank you for joining us.
You all right, mate? How you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you feeling? It's about tomorrow.
No, I've had an afternoon's sleep. I'm all right, getting ready for a couple of shows to do tonight and actually starting to look forward to tomorrow. I think I'm actually slowly starting to get some emotion for it.
Nerves kicking in?
I wouldn't say nerves because I wouldn't say nerves because everything that's happened this season, nothing would really surprise me. But definitely starting to get to the point now where I'm looking forward to it. And if we don't win this, it'll just make the whole season a total and utter disgrace. I mean, it's been a fail anyway, from left, right, and centre, purely down to the manager and the manager only for his tactics. But let's just hope he can pull his finger out and he's willing to step back a little bit and assess the game and get the tactics right for the game. He has done in a couple of European games, but is this a European game or is it just another Premier League game? What's he going to do? Because we are playing another Premier League team and we've done them 3 times the Premier League way. So is he going to play the European way or is he going to play the Premier League way?
So what would you do, Dan? What would you do?
We're going to have to change a couple of things because we haven't got no creativity there. I mean, me personally, I don't like Ange's style in any means or manner. I think he's probably the worst manager the Premier League's ever seen. But we're going to have to try to get some creativity from somewhere. So I think we got to look deeper in Bentancur and Porro because we haven't got no Maddison or Kulusevski there. And up front, we've got absolutely nobody with any real creation as such. So for me, it's about getting the long ball up there to someone who can then drill it across and hope that Johnson's in the right place at the right time.
So are you agreeing that being more pragmatic, we should approach it like we've been playing against Frankfurt, Bodo? You think we should be a bit more, not the high line, not the inverted fullbacks? No. Is that, you agree with that?
Totally. We need to be a bit more pragmatic with this one. I mean, playing the way with the high line and the inverted wing backs has been our downfall. And again, Ange has just been too far stuck up his own arse that he's not willing to change it. But then we have people going on about, it's not the Spurs way to play and everything. I don't care about the Spurs way. I couldn't care less about philosophy. I couldn't care less about history of Spurs. I want to win this game. I want Spurs to win things. I think sometimes you need to learn, and it's 2025, not 1905 anymore. And this is where we have to accept that sometimes you might just have to change your way if you want to win something. And he seems to have changed his way in Europe a bit, and it took him a couple of steps further.
If you're being practical and he's going to go with Bentancur and Basuma in midfield, and you want to be a bit more conservative, then you put Richarlison on the wing because he gives you that defensive capability.
Yeah, I agree.
And then you play Solanke up front with Son tucked behind him and Johnson on the right because Johnson's going to start.
That's exactly what I'd do. That's exactly what I would do.
On the other way,
a shadow striker as such.
You could reverse it. If he's going more attack-minded, you play Son on the left, Johnson on the right. You play Richarlison as the battering ram and you play Sankey behind him, not as a 10, because we haven't got a 10, right? Unless you
No,
play
we
Mikey
haven't.
Moore Odegaard there. Odegaard's the most skillful player at the club, but
Is
we
he?
haven't seen enough of them. Yeah, well, that's what they all say at the training ground. They say he's the most skillful, quickest feet. So, I mean, we haven't seen a big enough sample of Odegaard and Tell. They're for the future. Like everything seems to be with this club, you know. But so then you could play Slanky. His close ball control is very good. He could do a job as the cam rather than a 10 centre attacking midfielder. He could do that job there with and.
Stick him as a target man. You're basically saying the way I would do it is
And then,
stick him as a target man with Son
like,
coming in next to him.
Oh yeah, and also what you alluded to with the Porro, if you've got them, he's breaking forward, right, and he can go left or right then anyway. But I think you'll find it if he's playing in that cam, he'll go left because that gives Porro the option of pinging balls into Richarlison and Solanke in the box, and Son will be on the left. I can see us causing Man United a lot of trouble on the left-hand side. Right?
Not with Son on the left, I don't. Not with Son on the left. I mean, Son, as a left-sided player for me, he's done and dusted. He's already passed his sell-by date, and it is starting to show. People don't like to admit it because, again, we have moral people at Spurs. We have to accept him. He's been here for 10 years. He's been great. We can't do this to him. He should have been gone 2 years ago. Playing him on the left is... I don't think he's quite the right way for him anymore. He needs to be more inverted or more in the middle now because he has not got those legs anymore to run.
If we're being ultra conservative, he'll play the boring midfield three, which would be Bentancur, Basuma, and Sarr.
I don't want that. I don't want to see.
No, I don't want that.
Like, you've got to see look what Palace did with four in midfield against us. Our two, right? Look what they did to us. So Amman would have seen that. So we've got to be better. We've just got to be better with the ball. I mean, like, you know, I mean, and then we'll see. I don't know how cohesive a unit Man United are, Anthony. I know we started to look a little bit better in midfield before we got all the injuries, but we haven't had really a cohesive front three at all this season at all. We've scored lots of goals, makes you wonder how, but we haven't been. There's no sort of fluidity or great understanding with the players up there. And everyone's playing this robotic style of football, which I can't stand. Right.
But that's football these days, Adrian, and you've got to accept that, whether you like it or not. It is what it is. This is what I mean by philosophy. When I say to people like Thomas Frank would be a good manager, I have half to put, no, that's not the Spurs way. I'm not having it. We don't play that way. Well, then accept the crap that you're getting. I don't like the way football's gone either. I'd take it back to 25, 20 years ago all day long. Give me a flair player now. There's hardly any way. You can't even tell me Kevin De Bruyne is a flair player. Good passes, yeah, but he doesn't get you off your feet like, say, Figo used to, or Ronaldinho used to, or Roberto Baggio, or Del Piero, and the list can go on. It's just the way it is these days, and you have to adapt to modern-day football, whether we like it or not. I do agree that football has got robotic. If anything, football is now more athletic than it is football, in my opinion.
So what we're doing with this lineup, this forward line tomorrow, what do you think Ange will do, and what would you do? Nige, let's start off with you, man. What would you do, and what do you think Ange is going to do?
Me personally, I wouldn't even have wingers. I would play Richarlison and Solanke up front, and I would play three at the back and have my wing backs getting balls into the box as much as possible. But I think Ange will play Johnson, he will play Solanke, and he will play Sonny.
Okay.
That's what I think he'll do.
And who's the one behind?
I think he'll play Bentancur, Basuma and Sarr.
Do you really think so?
Yeah. I think Sarr's a guaranteed starter because I just think he's got legs. It's the only reason he starts.
Do people agree with that?
I think Man United are a bit slow in midfield and slow at the back. So,
yes.
And they'll know that they can outman us in midfield, right? So then you've got to be able to beat the press and pass through them. So and if we do, then we'll get joy. But they're gonna cause us problems. We're gonna cause them problems. Just on the day, we wait and see. They used to say, "Who wants it most? Who wants it the most?" Well,
so Adrian, what's your forward three, and what do you think Ange will do, and who's playing behind the striker?
I think Sonny stays on the left, and I think Solanke will play behind Richarlison, and Johnson will be on the right because Solanke's got quick feet. He's a good footballer. He scored quite a few goals for his first season. Hasn't done bad. He's nowhere near in the class of
He
strikers.
scored what, 8?
No, he scored more than it. He scored about 15 and got about 8 assists.
Oh, Solanke?
Yeah, not league goals.
Oh, he hasn't.
In all competitions. Yeah, he scored most
Check
goals.
it
And
out.
Let me check it out.
Check it out.
Check that one out. Maybe I'm just looking
go
at
to
the
Transfer
league on that.
Market. Go on, because I got them off Transfer Market. So this is the
Okay.
problem with sources as well, right? You really need to source it about 3 times at 3 different places because they haven't updated it or whatever. I win it bet because Johnson's got 17 and about
That's right.
and so many assists. Son's got 12 and 11, I think, and he hasn't looked good on the eye test this season, but he's still got the goals. Maddison's the same. He's about 12 and 12.
Yeah, Madison is. But I mean, Solanke, for what we've paid for, I personally think for what we've paid,
one thing, Nige, Sar's a big game player. He's got 6 goals and 3 assists this season, if my memory serves me well. And he scores in big games like Man City, Man United, and things like that.
Yeah.
He does score against Man U. Right, bringing this up. Yeah, all right. You're right. 15 altogether. He's got 8 in the league, which I think is abysmal for a £65 million striker. 5 in the Europa League. I can't really cut him much slack for that because look at the crap we've played in the Europa League. Bar Frankfurt, in that aspect, you expect even a schoolboy to be scoring against some of those teams like Carrierbag. So, but doing his job, he scored 2 in the League Cup as well. Yeah. Overall, for me, do you find that acceptable then for a £65 million striker?
23 goal contributor in the season so far. It's not bad. I mean, I didn't even want Johnson at the club. No, I think he's done okay. I think he's done okay for his first season. I think he's done okay. Johnson, he only scored 5 goals last season. He got 17 now. He did. So I've warmed to him because you can't ignore the numbers. You know,
he's been a terrible player, but he does get in the position for the tap-ins. That's why he's got to start.
No one's going to be able to tell me about Johnson that him and even when Werner was fit and he was playing, that he's not told to stay out there on the wing. Because you've got to be totally brainless to know that when we're struggling, you drop back and help out like Kane does or Solanke even does. You know what I mean? So they're told to stay out there, Dan. That's down to the coach. He's told to stay out there. I think one of the best games I saw he didn't score was actually with Man City home in the League Cup, I think it was. And he had quite a good game off the ball. Then he never scored. And I thought, so you can.
Do you not think with Johnson, though, that he scores and that's all you see off him? He's got to be the slowest, quickest player I've ever seen in my life. He is absolutely shit on the ball. He can't dribble with a ball. He can't cross the ball. He can't pass the ball. As all you got to do is go up to him and blow a fairy kiss, and he hits the floor like a sack of shit. I think he's a terrible player.
4-4-2, which Nige alluded to. He'd be better in a 4-4-2.
I agree. He'd be better in more of a, if you put him next to Solanke as such, playing him as an old school Emil Heskey, Michael Owen sort of style.
Or actually more of a 4-4-1-1, where you've got the player behind the striker.
How can we hurt Man United the most? You know, with the players that we've got available, where's their weakness?
They're slow at the back, very slow at the back. And I think that's we can get them with a long ball over from Porro or a direct ball from Bentancur down the middle. That is why I'd like to see Son as the number 10, but playing as a shadow striker like we used to play Dele Alli, basically, Dan. And
he could well play there because that would stiffen the left-hand side with Charleston on the left.
That is what I would like to do.
It. And then you've only got to worry about Porro on the right and Johnson being the weaker side. That's why if you
Johnson doesn't come back and support either, does he?
Just if you played, to me, the idea of the midfield pivot is one of them midfielders, and you're talking about football IQ. So the right-sided midfielder, when Porro's going forward, he should be watching that. Just in case we lose the ball further up the field, he should be coming across. And then if the back four, you shouldn't split your centre backs. They should shift slightly to the right as well at the time. But you have got to do it as a unit. But
so this is the formation they have. This is a predicted for Man United. Luke Shaw, left centre back. Maguire, centre back. Mazraoui, right centre back, and then you've got Dalot as the wing back and Dogu. So the pace there is not a lot, is there? You're right, Dan. It's not a lot of pace there. So
They haven't got much pace there. And when I've done a show today with Richard from Red Devil United, he also said that basically it is the defence they've got is quite slow. I mean, they've got people there like Harry Maguire. Now, if it comes in the air, I think Harry Maguire is a good defender. I think he gets a lot more stick than he deserves. He's just been played totally the wrong way, very similar to like Dragusin, basically. He's a much better defender than people give him credit. He just gets played the wrong way. And again, we blame this abysmal, useless manager we've got. And I think we can definitely hurt them with pace down the sides and down the middle as well, as long as we get people in the right places. We haven't got a playmaker. So if we do play with a 10, why play him as a playmaker? Then we need to, this is what I call adapting to your situation. If you have not got a playmaker to play there as a number 10, then you've got to change the styles slightly and use him as a shadow striker or something. And then use your striker as more of a target man as such. And has Ange got that mentality? I'd have to see it to believe it, because I don't think the man has much mentality in football.
So who is he playing then, guys? Who is he going to play? Because we all got our who we would want to play. Who is he going to go for? Son, Solanke, Johnson, and the number 10, is it going to be
Odegaard? I reckon.
Odegaard.
I reckon he'll stick Odegaard there.
If he goes for a 10 with quick feet, then it would be Odegaard. It would be Odegaard, but I don't think he will. I think he'll. I think Son's either going to be on the left or he's going to play as a central attacker.
He'll be on the left. He always sticks him on the left.
Well, then
Solanke
should play there then.
But when has he stuck Solanke there? He had the option to do that in the last game or whatever, or the game before that, or the game. He don't do it. If we're going to try and think logically like Ange does, it's going to be Son on the left, it's going to be Johnson on the right, it's going to be Solanke up front, and I think he'll put Odegaard there, who again is another one for me, who is just like Tell, who has absolutely done nothing this season and done nothing to prove that he has any capability of a player, really. What has he actually done this year to even justify the £30 million move, let alone others we paid £40 million for? What has Odegaard done? I mean, Tell, when he's come in, he scored a goal and he didn't even know it bloody hit him and went in the net, for God's sake.
Look, it's underwhelming, isn't it, those two players? But I think people are looking at flashes, aren't they? They're looking at flashes as, he can do that. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Dan. It's it doesn't look. This asked Anthony, are you scared of Odegaard? Tell players like that?
I do think they're good players. I think for me, when I judge players, I judge them by the conditions and the environment they're in. I'm not expecting Tell to score 10 goals since he's been in, because the Spurs team hasn't been playing well. So I'm not going to judge him based on that. I do think they're good players. Do they worry me for Wednesday? Not really. But you never know in the final. You can never predict what's going to happen. So we'll see.
So who would you prefer us to play at? 3 in the midfield with Sarr, or would you be happy if Wilson was in there?
I'd be happy with Basuma and Bentancur. I do not like the downward trajectory Basuma's been on. I don't think it's been good enough. I don't want to see Sarr. I'm a big fan of Sarr. I think he's really good. But I don't think Ange will play him high up in the midfield. But I'd be the player I'd be worried about is Sarr, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, really.
Why would you be worried about Sarr? He's probably our worst midfielder.
I think because our midfield is not athletic, and Sarr can get in and around him easily.
Basuma's quite athletic. He's better on the ball than Sarr.
I don't think so.
What you got to look at with Basuma, yeah, and it shows. When does he make round about 80% of his mistakes? When it's on a spur of the moment, pardon the phrase, and it's a defensive moment. That is where he makes his mistakes. He is not a defensive player. This, again, is where this clown of a manager that we have cannot work out how these players are meant to play. He can't play them to their potential to what they're best at. And then when someone who's playing in the middle, who's meant to do a box to box, then come back and cover a naked DM zone where he's already got 2 centre mid sitting next to him. He's got no left. He's got an inverted wing back over there, or one up the other end of the pitch, one over there. He basically has to come back and cover left, right, forward, and back on his own. Anyone is gonna look terrible doing that. He's not a defensive player, and 80% of his mistakes have always been on a stupid moment in a defensive moment. As soon as we play double pivot with Bentancur, all of a sudden he looks like a different player. Does everyone agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And the only thing,
so the person to blame for that is the manager. Again, it is the clown manager tactics.
I don't know what Ange is going to do, whether he would go 3 in midfield, but the reason I don't think he will is like, we need a spare midfielder on the bench in case one of ours gets booked and that in a final. And we've only got Sarr, really, unless you're going to bring Saisi in, or you're going to bring in Adama J in, who's a cam. Both cams, really. Unless you're going to bring them in on Mikey.
He's not going to play them, is he? No chance.
So, really, our back 7 is going to be our experienced 7. The question is, where are the front 4 going to be? Because we know that Johnson will be on the right wing. It's the other 3.
Johnson's got to start.
Johnson will be on the right wing. So then you've got Son, Solanke, and Richarlison. Where are you actually playing them? So is Solanke going to play as a cam? Is Son going to play as the cam position? Other than that, I think it sorts itself out.
What about Son off the striker?
Son, you could play Son behind a striker as well.
Off the striker, maybe running in behind.
And he shoots them outside the box, so we get more chances. That's what me and Dan alluded to earlier, playing Richarlison on the left, because he'll hold that. Him and your doggy will be very false on that side. So then you've got Porro whacking balls in. No, I'll be happy with that. I don't think we're going to be unhappy with the team because we basically know what the team's going to be. It's just a question whether it's 3 in midfield. Yeah, whether it's 3 in midfield. That would be unusual for Ange, though, 3. But you need Sarr on a bench because if like Palace turned us over with 4 across the middle, if that starts to happen, then he's got to fix that early. He's got to have to throw Sarr on.
Could he not play? This is really wild, but could he not play maybe Danzo in the midfield as a holding midfield? Because he has played for Switzerland now, hasn't he?
No. Best holding midfielder at the club is actually Christian Romero.
That Basuma and Bentancur.
He's never even played in midfield.
He played at the back 3 in Italy, Dan. He used to push it in the midfield.
That's not midfield.
I know, but he could do it. He's got the passing range. He's got the tackling. He's got everything. He could do it. But I said it. When I got Pelt suggesting this, I suggest this before I even brought VDV in the club. And everyone threw pelts at me. I said, well, they said, we ain't got a centre backs. I said, I know that. I said, but I believe he could do that job. Now, it doesn't make it sound right, but I believe, and I'm talking about a deep line defensive midfielder. I don't like these numbers 6, 8, and 10. They're too specific, right? I'm talking about a deep line midfielder. He could do that job. Christ, if someone like Eric Dyer could do it in midfield, Romero can.
I still wouldn't go that far. I just don't. I just think Romero is probably the most overrated player we've ever had at Spurs. I do not think he is good as people make out. He has what? I'm not saying he's not capable of a world-class game. He is, but that he's always capable of a world-class game. You get no consistency off him over 3 years since we've had him. He has pretty much bang average games at the best of times, or at other times he looks well below standards. We get one world-class performance out of him out of what, every 10, 15 games. And how much injury has he got as well? I just think he's so overrated. But again, personal opinion. Could he handle a DM role? I suppose you'd have to wait and see, wouldn't you?
Look, we got to leave that alone. That Basuma and Bentancur, that's works for us. We've got
double pivot.
Yeah. It's the one who's going to play in front. Is we all don't know really, do we?
It's the number 10 that we're not sure of, isn't it? Who's if we played a 4-2-3-1? Who is that number 10? And from what I've seen, I think he's going to put Odebert there.
I would do it or play Son as a shadow striker. I think Son on the left wing, we're not going to get enough out of him, are we? We need him in around goal, trying to get in behind, I think.
The only one in midfield who can cause him any trouble is Bentancur. He was a deep line playmaker, defensive midfielder at Juventus. He's got a good forward direct ball on him.
Yeah.
And apart from that, we haven't really got no one else in midfield who's got a decent pass. I mean, Basuma's got a decent enough pass for a short range, but that's it. Udogie, again, for me, I think he's just been absolutely shocking this season. I don't even think he should have the right to start. I would be starting Spence over Udogie personally, because I think Udogie's been that bad. If we play either Udogie or Porro is inverted, we're done. Game over.
Oh, we can't do that, man.
Oh, but Ange can do that, and you know it.
But Dan, do you think because we beat a Man United 3 times in more of an Ange ball way, do you think you might go back there?
Well, if you remember the first time we'd done them at Old Trafford, we didn't use inverted wingbacks.
Okay, yeah, no, true. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is he gonna have the brain cells to be able to do that? Time will tell again. Or is he gonna go so stuck in his way? This is where I think a few of us are struggling. What is he actually gonna do? Because he's actually shown common sense in the past couple of European games, but then it goes straight back to the Premier League games. And you can just blatantly see that he's only ready for the Scottish Premier League, and it's ranked number 42 in the world for a reason.
What about this comment? Big up to you, Varane. There's not enough creativity in Spurs midfield to cause us trouble. Now, look, Anthony, you go with that. Do you agree? And then we can
I agree to a point. Yeah, definitely. But for me, it's the athleticism and the physicality that Casemiro and Ugarte have kind of struggled.
Who is them in the midfield tomorrow? Who's going to be in there? Anthony for Man U.
I know for sure Casemiro will start. It's whether Amorim will put Bruno alongside him or Ugarte and play Bruno higher up. But I think it will be Bruno and Casemiro in midfield.
Guys, are you worried about that pairing? Anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man United. I think they can. I think Bruno can pull the strings in there. That's my concern watching him against Chelsea. He was on the ball all the time. So my big concern is Bruno. I think if we can get someone on him, take him out of the game, then I think we'll be all right. Casemiro worries me on set pieces. Other than that, not too much.
Casemiro's a very slow player. He's about as fast as a donkey these days. But he has got the mentality, and he's still got the brain for it. I mean, now with Fernandes, I think we can take him out of the game relatively easily if we go and treat him like everyone treats Maddison. Why? Because again, I think Fernandes is the same as Maddison. When it comes to the pitch, he is nothing but a moody little bitch. When he starts getting a few kicks in the legs, when he starts getting slapped about a little bit, he'll start getting all moody and everything. And the difference with Maddison and Fernandes is the one that you bitch him up enough, he's likely to do something stupid and get a red card for it.
Yeah.
More than Maddison.
Would you
Maddison would get his yellow card. I'd double up on him. Every time he gets the ball, I'd have two. Every time he gets the ball, I'd have two people charge him up and sandwich him.
If we went with a 3-man midfield and Sarr was given the job to mark him, right, then I would understand it. But it's usually players. You take the player on that's near you, don't you? Otherwise you can get pulled all over the pitch.
But that's why I'd say we come back a little bit further, and that is where I feel Basuma and Bentancur could just sandwich him up quite nicely. And that's where you can also have cover coming up from the back or from the sides if needs be. That's where I would just sandwich him and go totally rough with him. If someone gets a yellow card over it, fine, they get a yellow card, but then that's where the player's got to have the mentality to then slow his game down a bit. But I mean, their most dangerous one is Fernandes, but I think, like you all just agreed with me, on the pitch, he is a little bitch. Give him a few kicks, give him a few slaps, and he will get moody.
Dan, there's comment in the chat. David, mate.
Yeah, David, tone it down a bit, mate. We're all expressing opinions,
If you don't agree with what Dan says, actually come back at him.
Tone it down, mate.
It's fine by me. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, Dan can look after himself.
And if you want to know, David, they ain't sunglasses, mate. I've got epilepsy and I have to wear them on the screen. But either way, mate, say as you wish. It's no love lost to me. Don't worry about it.
Just come back what you don't agree with what he's saying rather than just being rude. So, let's move on. Anthony, what is the game plan for Man United tomorrow? How are they going to approach it? Are they going to be more pragmatic? Are they going to come at Spurs? What are they going to do?
Oh, the thing is for me, against the other big six clubs this season, well, under Amram, I think we've looked better than we have all season. You know, the last two we've played Tottenham. I think we've given you guys a good game. It's I'm not sure how to approach it, but he'll want control. There's too many times this season where the game's been a bit back and forth, and we haven't coped with it. So that's why he's got Casemiro playing the way he has. Casemiro's been brilliant since the turn of the year, and because Amram has got him in positions where he's not doing much. He's actually influencing the zone he's in, not rather influencing going back or going forward. So I think Amram will want control with and without the ball. We've got to keep the ball better than we have been over the past few weeks. In the Chelsea game, we kept losing it in dangerous areas, even though I thought we played a bit better than them in recent weeks. We lost the ball in key areas too easily. And Amram will want some sort of control, and in terms of possession and out of possession. So I think that's how we approach it. But whether he goes pragmatic or attacking, I'm not too sure. But I know what he'll want.
I think it shows the weakness in both teams, Anthony, when you've sort of half alluded it, playing better teams, you've looked better. Whenever we've played against these hard-working teams, we've come unstuck, right? And the only reason you get a bit more time and a bit more time and time to play on the ball when you're playing a better footballing team, because they're confident they can pass it past you and win the game anyway. So it's when we've been playing Brightons and even Ipswich beater and Leicester's beaters and all that, it's just painful to watch, right? And I've got to go, guys. Good to meet you because I've got my own show to do in 10 minutes, yeah?
Cheers, Adrian, for jumping on, mate. Take care.
Thank you, mate. Andrew, see you later.
See you later. Please subscribe to Adrian. People in the chat, I'll get his link up in a minute. Look, this comment in the chat from Varane. There are talks that Mount Bruno slots in number 9 positions. Maino, Casemiro, and Ugarte form a formidable midfield. Anthony, do you like the sound of that?
I'm not too sure. I'm not. I think Mount and Bruno will start. But whether Bruno starts in attacking positions, I don't know. I'm not too sure. I don't think so. And I know Højlund's had his issues, of course. And will Amram trust him enough to start him in this final? I'm unsure of it. But I guess playing Bruno in a fluid front three, why not? But yeah, like I said, I just don't know how Amram's going to approach this.
So you just don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I like the sound of it. But
okay, Dan Nige, are you scared of this Man United team? What are you worried about with them? I know Fernandes and Casemiro with a header, all that, Maguire with a header, but are you actually scared against this Man United team? Because I'm not.
I can't say I'm scared against them. If anything, I'm more scared against ourselves. I'm more scared of myself than I'm scared of them, if I'm going to be totally honest.
Yeah.
And I know that when it comes down to it, Man U have got it in their DNA. Man U have got it in their DNA to pull it off on a day to get over that line. Spurs haven't. We have got to be the biggest underachieving club ever in football. We are basically the national version of the international England, aren't we? For what we have, we should have tenfold more as such, and we don't. And when it ever comes to a crunch, we always seem to bottle it. But I'd just be more scared of ourselves. Take it for instance that we got 15 minutes to go. I think I'd rather be 1-0 up than 2-0 up. Now, people say that sounds crazy. There's a reason to it. I'd rather be 1-0 up because I think we'd be still more on our toes. If we were 2-0 up at that time, Spurs have got more than enough liability in them, along with a manager, to get complacent and all of a sudden concede a goal, then another goal, then another goal within 5 minutes. We've seen it happen. If anything, I'm more scared of ourselves. The player that bugs me with them is Fernandes. Brilliant forward, brilliant player. I don't think he's quite world class, but very, very good player. But again, mentality wise, be a bit bitchy towards him, and he will get bitchy, and you can get something out of that. I'm just more scared of ourselves than I am Man U, because they really do not particularly bother me in any sort of manner. We've already done them 3 times this year, but those 3 games are pretty much irrelevant now because this is just a one-off, isn't it? And yeah, if anything, I'm more scared of our own manager and our own team than I'm Man United, of us actually cocking it up basically instead of Man U overriding us as such.
Have you predicted it, Dan? Yeah. Have you made a prediction?
2-1 Spurs by the skin of our teeth.
Great. Yeah. Good stuff.
That's why I'm scared of United, because we have beaten them 3 times this season, and it would be so totally Spursy in the biggest game is the one we lose. And like Dan said, United are serial winners. They've got the mentality that
Well,
when it
let me
comes to
bring something
finals,
up, Nige.
United
Let
are
me bring something
the
up. We
mentality
can have a look at
monsters.
this. Look at this. Let me bring up. So this is the finals, the last 10 finals. Forget about the charity shield. Okay. So going all the way back to 2011, they lost to Barcelona. So they're beating City. Now forget that one. FA Cup, Palace, League Cup, Southampton. And then you look at Newcastle, Man City. So how many is that? Just trying to take away the charity shield matches. How many wins have they had in the last 10 finals?
2, 3, 4, 6. 6, is it?
One's a Super Cup. 8.
Oh.
No, take away the charity shields.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 7.
I think it's 6 or 7.
6.
But
yeah.
Okay, and then look at us. It's
awful.
over a longer time period, Spurs, because we don't make as regular finals as Man U. Going all the way back. Let me get that comment down.
There's a final in there against United in there that we lost as well on penalties.
United do have it in their DNA, and we know it. They are a winning football club through and through. Even at their very worst, they still won things. Same as Arsenal, same as Chelsea, same as big clubs. When we was at our best, we still had nothing to show for it. This is another thing why I think this one has got Spurs written all over it. We have had the worst manager we've ever had, the worst manager the Premier League has ever seen, in my personal opinion. We've conceded over 120 goals in 2 seasons. We've lost over, I'm going to say we've lost 22 games. We've lost 21, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be 22 because the next game is pretty irrelevant as well, really. And we've broken over 15 records with this manager, records that you didn't want broken because they're that bad. And this whole season, the only way this season could have actually been worse is that we got relegated and Arsenal win it. That is the only 2 things that could have happened to make it worse. And we haven't won nothing for 17 years. We've embarrassed ourselves time after time in finals, semi-finals. And if there was any time we were going to win it, yeah, it'd probably be the time we finish 17th and have the worst season ever and then get in the Champions League for it. It would just have a very Spursy touch to it, if you get what I'm saying.
It's got that feeling, though, isn't it? Like after the season we've had, that we might go on and win tomorrow. I don't know what it is. I just got this funny feeling about it because we shouldn't really. We shouldn't, but it's just been one of those seasons, right, guys? It's just been. It's crazy.
I think it's because we're playing. I think it's because and it's no disrespect to United, but I think it's because we're playing United, who are equally as bad as us. You look at the last 3 or 4 finals we've been in. We lost to Liverpool, who were brilliant at that time. I think they amassed over 90 points in that season. We lost to Man City in the League Cup, who had walked the league. We lost to Chelsea in the League Cup, who had walked the league. But this time we've got Man United, and they are as bad as us. So I think it's a flip a coin. I think anyone can win this game, but we're never going to have a better chance to win a final.
Especially against a team like Man U. I think one of the main problems that's going to come into this one is the thin line between who wants it more and who's desperate. You go into this desperate, you've lost. Desperate don't do you favours. Desperate makes you do erratic things. Wanting it more can make you win a game. Now, if it comes to wanting a cup, Spurs definitely want a cup more than Man U. Man U could lose this cup and just say, okay, look at the list. Spurs can't exactly do that. The other thing is, if we don't win this, it's not even the cup that's the most important thing. It's the after effects, which is sad, but it is true.
Yeah.
Man U, if they don't win this, they'll still be able to pick themselves up and get themselves together. Whether they got a bit of money issue or not, we know they'll pay 3 times the wages. You know they'll pay 3 times the money still. You know they are still Man United and can attract bigger players than Spurs easily. If Spurs don't win this, we're not going to have a pot to piss in. We're not going to be able to attract any decent managers. I mean, why is even Glasner going to come over from Crystal Palace now when he's just got into Europe? We're not going to be able to get no players. Our wage structure will go down even more. We'll end up making more stupid buyers like Archie Gray. And if we hang on to Ange, then we'll be fighting relegation next year. If we do not win this, this can destroy us for the next 2 to 5 years, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, I dread to think.
I
just dread to think. Go for it.
Can I ask you a question then? If you guys win this, do you think Ange will stay? I mean,
No,
or do you still think they'll still think they'll sack Ange?
I think he's
So
gone.
what?
I think
If
he's
they-
gone. Sorry, Dan.
Surely. No, I don't know. I thought, which Dan are you talking to? It's 2 of us here.
Yeah, Dan.
Oh, sorry. Well, all of you.
okay,
Sorry.
Dan, go first, man.
I think he's gone. Baked potato, mate. See you later. Any person with common sense would boot him as soon as they could. Fine, he's got us a cup. Well done. Appreciate that. There's your extra £1 million pocket money. Now, do one, because he is not good enough for the league, and it is shown. And I cannot go through another season, and a club of Spurs structure and size, same as Man U, should not be fighting 17th. And I think we need to look at Man U to learn a lesson. They made the biggest mistake of their lives when they kept hold of Ten Hag because of morals. Same as Spurs do. We kept like people don't like when I use this one, but like where people are still saying we shouldn't get rid of Son. It's purely because of morals, purely because he's been here 10 years. I don't care. It's a dog-eat-dog world. I want the best. So if you're not good enough anymore, whether you've been here brilliant 10 years or been here brilliant for a year, if you're not good enough now, you're gone. That is how you get to the top. That is how business works for me. And Ange has already proved that he's not good enough for this Premier League. But anybody can win a cup. And I said he could at the start. You kept hold of Ten Hag blatantly in the end because he got us our second cup. Come on, we'll give him another go. So what do? Make the same mistake as you, then go and spunk another 100 million on Ange, where he goes and buys dickheads like Archie Grays and Brennan Johnsons and stuff like that, and Solankis? Or do we get another manager in that can start building his team now? Because this project thing and everything, it hasn't all got to restart because you've got a new manager. A manager is just part of it, isn't it? Or does the whole thing have to recess because it's a new manager?
Look, guys, I've got a super chat. Just want to read it out. Big up, Adrian. Arriving options off the bench will be crucial for Man U. Tottenham bench will be weak and can't change the game from the bench. Guys, get into that one. Nige.
No, it's just, it's true. And this is the problem we have, isn't it, with the amount of midfielders we have out, that we haven't really got anything to change it from the bench if we get an injury and if we do play Sarr, Benton, Cole, Basuma. So I think a lot of what people are saying is only play 2 of them. I think it's probably the right thing to do. I think our bench will be a little bit weaker. And this is why I probably think Ange will go with Sonny, Solanke and Johnson, because I think he will want to keep Richarlison on the bench in case we need him later in the game. It's an extra target man. But yeah, United definitely have a stronger bench than Spurs do.
So if the game is tight or Man U are down, they can change it off the bench. Where's the threat coming from, Anthony, off the bench for Man U?
Garnacho. I think it will cause anyone problems off the bench. For me, he's frustrated me a lot this season. I can admit that. His decision making in attack, and the things he does is he's still some immaturity in his game. But when you need some unpredictability, a player that goes at people, a player that can do cause real problems against tiring legs, Garnacho's arguably one of the best at causing havoc like that. So I think he's certainly someone that can cause a few issues off the bench. Yeah.
What about their striker, Xerxes?
Oh yes, definitely Xerxes. Yes, I'm even seeing certain predicted lineups and say people saying that Xerxes should start. I don't think he'll start, but he's definitely someone that can help us hold the ball. Certainly, someone that can get at people. Can definitely go against tiring legs. Xerxes, Garnacho, even Ahmad, if he does start on the bench, three of those players can cause anyone issues.
Big up Adrian for the super chat, much appreciated. Anybody else want to add anything about coming off the bench options tomorrow, because it could be crucial?
I don't think we have that much option on the bench, do we, that can change the game?
Well, this is it.
I mean,
isn't
do
it?
you?
I mean, all the players we got out, we got loads out.
Yeah, I don't think we've got many game changers on the bench. I mean, we've got one or two that we can swap for the same style as such, but
Tell,
game changer,
that's it. Tell, that's all we got. Tell,
yeah.
Mikey Moore, is he going to be on the bench? I don't know.
Mikey Moore just don't look ready for me. He might be one that you can put on. Right. He might have a crazy 10-minute sort of thing and do something special. But for me, he's like Archie Gray in the aspect of he just ain't ready for the Premier League yet. He needs more time to milk in. If anything, the thing the boy needs is a loan out to Borussia Dortmund or something. And same as Archie Gray, he needs a loan out to another club to start doing something. And I just don't see that we've got any sort of game changer or even one that can change people want to call it, philosophy of what we're playing on the subs bench. I honestly don't.
And this is what I mean. If you risk starting with Richie, then if there's an injury, then who's coming off?
Then you just have to swap it around up the top, I suppose, don't you?
Yeah. It's limited.
Then you just have to start. Yeah, we are very limited on there. And we've got absolutely no playmaking up there whatsoever. I think Man U, by the sound of it, will have a better subs bench than us.
And they should have more creativity. And their probably wingers are better than ours. Okay. Probably pace-wise.
We haven't even got wingers. That's the problem. We've got inside forwards. We haven't got no one who can cross a ball. Son can't cross a ball for come love nor money. He never could. His passing ain't great either. Johnson is exactly the same. Tell can't cross or pass. Odebert, haven't seen him cross or pass. Kulusevski, yeah, okay, can do a cross here and there and pass, but we haven't got him. The only one who we got at Spurs who I think can be a consistent crosser of the ball is Porro. I mean, if you really want someone to be crossing that ball in, again, like me and you, Dan, have said before, and others have said, I would have said ages ago, stick Porro up on the far right and stick Spence behind him on the as the wing back or as the right back, whatever way they want to use him. Then I feel you'll get consistent crosses into the box there because he's the only one we've got who can actually cross that ball. Otherwise, we're going to have to rely whoever's on the left, whether it's a Doji coming up the left, as long as we don't bloody invert him, or Richarlison being there, or if the 10 drifts off to the left, to basically play it like FIFA, sweat it across the box with a drill ball and hope that one or two, whoever's in the middle, can tap it into either at the back post or the middle of the post. I just don't see where we've got the crosses and creativity, subs bench or on the pitch.
No, it's good points. And I think, Anthony, how do Man United play? Do they play a kind of mid-block, isn't it? I think they don't have a high line really today. So Porro can ping them balls over. Will there be the space to get in behind, possibly?
Yeah, well, with the back line that's expected to start tomorrow, I don't think Lenny Yoro will start tomorrow. I think he's arguably the quickest of our centre backs. Him and Aiden Heaven, and none of them two will be starting. So I guess Porro could certainly utilize that long raking passes he does over the back line. But I think if Amarin goes for that mid block, that's certainly something Spurs can look to exploit. Definitely.
guys, where could we take this now? Does anybody got any burning questions about the game tomorrow? Nige, what's on your mind?
Just from being what's been talked about now, I'm really concerned that our only real option, like creativity, is going to be Porro, and it's going to be so easy to play against because all we're doing is getting the ball, getting it to Porro, and he's just pinging balls over the top or into the box. I think United will lap that up all day. I think Maguire will be like, yeah, I'll have some of that. That's my concern. I think without any creativity, I think we're going to struggle. We just got to hope that, for me, maybe set pieces. I don't know. It's a difficult one, but I'm concerned that if Porro's our only outlet and we haven't got anything else, then United could be pretty
We don't
comfortable.
even look good on set pieces, do we? Really, in
No,
general.
not really.
Who have we got who can even do a set piece? Who have we got who can take a corner apart from, again, Porro? Son can't take a good corner. Again, never could. Even though at one time he was our corner taker. Don't ask me why, but he never could do it. Who else, apart from Maddison, who isn't going to be playing, can actually take a good corner? Or a good free kick? The only one we've got there who can do it is Porro. He's the only one. Unless someone can spot someone else for me.
No,
I mean, it's limited, isn't it? I think it's going to be a game where we just kind of set pieces, free kick, knockdowns in the box. We've got to get it in the box, haven't we? We've got to get them crosses in. I just don't know how we're going to create consistently. I think it's going to be a game like we saw against Bodo Glimt, really, kind of quite defensive. But, you know, how would you describe that performance, Dan, against Bodo? The away game. How would you say?
It was what we needed to do. He got it right. It was what we needed to do, basically. It wasn't going to be... There are no mugs at home, and we knew that. And I think a few people took the game a bit, judged it before it was even done. But we got... It's a game we should be doing. We're the 7th biggest club in the world, for God's sake. Yeah. Even with a clown manager like this, we should still be able to go and beat Bodo Glimt. And we did, but I think we've done it in a respectable way at home and away. I think we just stayed back, waited for our chances, and took them. And I think that's what we got to do against Man U, basically.
I think that's the only way we can do. I think it's the only way.
The past
two line is suicide.
It's been suicide all season, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been saying this since day one. The high line is what has killed us. The inverted wing backs and the high line. If he would just stop the inverted wing backs and the high line, I think that's 25% of our problem sorted already. I think that is a major part of our problem sorted because the majority of our goals always come over from the left, the middle, or the right, where everyone's inverted or up the top and pushed for 2 seasons now. But as soon as he stops this in Europe, like against Frankfurt and that, and the pressure was on us, and he brings on the third man as well, we look like a different team. When he plays the 2 centre mids as double pivot, not just crazy stuff, again, we look like a better team. So surely he must see this somewhere.
Yeah, he must do. What about the whole kind of the moment, the game, the final? A lot of these players haven't played in finals before. Who could step up? Players like Solanke's never played in a game like this. Many of them, really. Basuma, players like that. Bentancur's won things. Romero's won things. But if you look across that team, can they rise to the occasion in this game? Guys, anybody kick it off? I'm just going to pop out for a sec.
Yeah, they're going to have to, aren't they? I think I'm expecting Romero to lead. Not seen a lot of leading from him this season, but I'm expecting in this game for him to do the business. You know, he's a World Cup winner. So he's a Copa America winner. I'm expecting the likes of Sonny to lead. Again, another one who doesn't fill your confidence, you know, because he's not a shouter. He tends to do his leading by the way he plays. But again, he's not been on form this season. But I'm expecting Sonny. I'm expecting Romero. And I'm expecting Bentancur. They'll be my 3 players that I'll be expecting to really rise. And hopefully, if there's any young players in the squad, hopefully they'll rise to it as well. But I don't know. I've seen Spurs in too many finals and not turn up. So I am really concerned about this game. But it's a final and anything can happen. I just hope, you know, I've said 3 players. I hope you all turn up, to be honest.
It's like I said, I'm just more scared of ourselves than I am Man U. Because if anyone knows how to cock anything up on the day, it is Tottenham. And that is just a fact. Like it or lump it, it is what it is. And like I said, I am more bothered about our manager doing something stupid or someone in the team doing something erratic because they're getting told to play the wrong way or whatever else, and we actually cock it up for ourselves. If it comes down to something like that, I think that is going to hurt more than if Man U just play better than us and do us, basically. If it comes down to a stupid moment like it has done in quite a few games where, yeah, if we end up cocking this up for ourselves, it's going to hurt more than Man U just being the better team.
Yeah. No, agreed. What are you thinking, Anthony?
Yeah, I think much will definitely be expected of Christian Romero and Son. In terms of their experience.
So it should be.
As you said, Nige, Romero definitely. You know, he's won the big trophies internationally. So, you know, he's much will be expected of him definitely. Van der Ven as well. I mean, he hasn't got as much experience in finals, but again, his partnership with Romero, that's something Spurs are leaning on. So, you know, big performances from them two could actually turn the tide to your favor. So yes, it's definitely you know, fine margins.
And who are you expecting out of the United side to step up? I suppose you've got a lot more experience in now, haven't you, with the likes of Casemiro and even Maguire, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, the three I mentioned before, Bruno, Casemiro, Maguire. I guess that's, you know, pretty much the spine. Onana's been in finals, and I know he lost. He won the FA Cup last season. He lost the Champions League to City with Inter Milan. I guess, you know, it hasn't been a good season for him individually, but he needs a big performance definitely if he's going to have a future at the club. Bruno, Casemiro, Maguire, Onana, Shaw if he starts. He's got experience. I think we've got a lot of some good experience across the board. I mean, midfield and defense especially. Yeah. So yes,
what do you make of Onana? What do you make of Onana?
And Onana's frustrated me a lot. I thought when he came in, you know, our problem was he was only bought for his ball playing, and if you're gonna sign a top keeper, they need to be an all rounder. Not just
he wasn't bought only for his ball playing. He wasn't. I guarantee you it. He was not. Inter Milan is my second team. I watched them as much as I watched Spurs. At Inter Milan, he was a brilliant goalkeeper. Excellent shot stopper. Yeah, he had a bit, let's just say he was a bit, what's the word they use? Eccentric. Yeah. Good on his feet. Good at passing the ball out. Good at throwing the ball out. Good reflexes. Good at controlling the area. He was a brilliant keeper at Inter Milan.
Yeah.
As soon as he went to Man U, he fell to shit. I don't know what has happened with him. I would have took him all day long. I thought you had a steal for a keeper there. Yeah. So it's not just his ball control.
I mean,
if you watch him at Inter, he was a brilliant keeper.
I did. He was. And to be honest, when he came in, I literally thought, okay, yeah, this is a quality signing. And but the thing is, we haven't played him to his strengths since he's come in, and also he's made some pretty you know, rubbish errors. So I guess the confidence of the environment, I guess, hasn't you know.
Do you reckon he's another confidence player then? Do you reckon he's another confidence player?
Yes, I definitely think Onana's a confidence player. Yeah,
too many in football
definitely.
These days.
Yeah, I think when the going gets tough, I think Onana could crumble. That's my problem with him. He's not someone. He may look like someone that can rise up to it, but you know there are certain errors he makes when we need him most. That, you know, the fans are now. Yeah, the fans are now doubting him because of it.
Inter Milan, he had one of the most solid defenses in the world, if not the most solid defense in the world in front of him. I mean, for me, at the moment, Inter Milan have got the most solid defense on the planet, along with, say, 2 others.
Yeah.
But it is also the way they play. They play deep counter-attack, fast football. They hold up what you've got and then 3 direct ball forwards and get the ball in the back of the net like they did with Barcelona. That is the way Inter play. And it's just mad how a goalkeeper can just go from the standards he was to one of the best on the planet at the time to what he is now. He has just fallen to shit at Man U completely. But is that down to the same sort of issue we have with Vicario, who I think is one of the best shot stoppers and best reflexes in the Premier League, but as an overall goalkeeper, I think he leaves a lot to be desired as such, especially with coming out, commanding the box, getting the ball and stuff like that. He leaves a lot to be desired with him as well. I mean, but we paid 12 million for him, and you paid how much for Onana? About 45, wasn't it?
Yeah. Around about 50 million, yeah.
Guys, what does this final mean to you all tomorrow? Because when we're not used to being in a European final, especially in a final that we've got a massive chance to win it. Like the one against Liverpool, we were underdogs. Guys, this start off with Dan. What do you think, man? What's your kind of feelings? How important is it for you to win this trophy? And we haven't seen enough of them, have we?
Well, obviously, the trophy is important to us more than it is to Man U in the aspect of a trophy for the trophy cabinet. We have got nothing in there. We have been a complete and utter failure for 17 years, basically. And we need that trophy, but it's the after effects that bother me more. We need this desperately. Otherwise, this club is going to be sitting in 10th and 12th for the next 2 to 10 years, in my opinion. Because even if we get a better manager in after this, he's only going to be able to get the team up to the standards that it should be now. And what I mean by now is like top 7 fighting for 5th place. And with that, if he goes and does that, we've already gone, and then 10 teams that are above us, i.e. Man U will go out and get stronger players. Man City will do it. Liverpool will do it. Arsenal will do it. Chelsea will do it. Villa will do it. Newcastle will do it. They'll already be a season above us as such, if you understand where I'm coming from. Yeah. We'll just be getting to the standards we should do. And by the time they get the players in and up it to they're going to be a season in front of us, and we're going to be sitting in 10th and 12th. And if we keep hold of Ange, we're looking at relegation next season. That's how I see it with him. That is how poor I think this manager is. So we need this desperately.
Have you got a nice bottle ready to open, Dan, if we do win it?
Oh, I'll be drunk. I'll be drinking my bottle of Southern Comfort while I'm watching it.
Where you going?
I'm going to need it.
Where you going to watch it, mate? Are you at home or are you going out? Or
do you know, I've had offers to go out. I've had offers to go up Tottenham and that. Me and my mate was going to go up Bilbao, but the prices and everything and how to get up there was just stupid. Do you know what? I'm just going to sit indoors and watch the game basically with a bottle of Southern Comfort.
Nice. Nige, what does this game mean for you, man?
You know what? I mean, we don't get in many finals, do we, Tottenham? But for me, there's just something about a European final that just makes it extra special. Recently, Champions League apart, we got into a couple of League Cup finals. It's just not quite the same. It's nice, but for me, the UEFA Cup, the Champions League is the one, but the UEFA Cup for me is massive. I hear a lot of fans saying, UEFA Cup's a nothing trophy. For me, it means everything because it's one of the first trophies that I can remember winning in '84 when I watched with my dad. And so UEFA Cup will always have a special place in my heart. Yes, has it been watered down with the Champions League teams not coming in it? Yes, absolutely. But it's still a massive trophy. And yeah, such a big game, and we need it. We need it as a fan base more than anything because we tear each other apart at times, don't we? And it would be nice to unite for one night only. And then once we win it, we can get back on the Ange train, get them out.
But you know what? The thing is with this, in its own way as well, if we go and win this is going to split our fan base even more. Because then you're going to have the Ange in ones. They've almost got a leg to stand on, basically. And it's going to, I think, afterwards, it's going to split it even more with the ones who say that Ange is good enough for the league, the ones who say Ange isn't good enough for the league, and then you've got the fence people sitting there with the morals and how you how things should be done in life, whatever else, show some respect of that he deserves another season because he won a cup. It's the after effects one way or another are going to be, it's still going to divide the fan base. At that moment in time, we can all be together, but you know it's not going to take long for it to just go to war again afterwards. We should keep Ange. No, Ange definitely has to go now. No, Ange didn't win it because we had injury. Oh, Ange did do it. You know it's going to split it up even more one way or another. But for that night, surely we can all just stick together and just say, come on, Ange, get your act together. Come on, team. Let's do it and let's win a bloody game and let's win something. And then Ange can leave with a bit of pride on his back. The league will be forgotten about, and in 10 years' time, we'll sit there and say, God, that clown of a manager, Ange. But yeah, he done us the league. Fair play, mate. Love you to bits for it, sort of thing. That's just how I see it.
No, I mean, it is quite controversial, isn't it? Sacking him if he wins it. You know, you've got the bus parade and all of that, and then it's like, bye-bye, Ange. It's a bit of a mad one, if you look at it, isn't it? And Anthony, what do you think of that?
What, in terms of Ange?
Yeah, like
it's the same as you and Ten Hag, basically.
Yeah, I agree with when you said when you compared it to Ten Hag. You know, you don't want to be making decisions based off on, you know, the excitement. We've won a trophy. I think Spurs have got to be smart and astute this summer, especially even if you win it. You know, how long will you leave it before you actually sack Postecoglou? Because you know, with the Club World Cup, you know, the summer's going to be busy. So getting recruitment right, getting the coaches right, you know, that's going to take a bit of time. So if you win it, you got to make a quick decision. You know, Postecoglou, this is your last game. You know, within a week or so. So, I mean, as you said before, you know, Spurs can't act like United did last season because that would be catastrophic. That will set you guys back another 5 or 10 years. So, yeah, you got to be really smart this summer.
And what does this final mean to you, Anthony? How important is it?
This is, well, based on the context of our season, it's very important. But like I said at the start of the show, this game isn't a basis of this game isn't dependent on you know, how can I put it? It's not a basis on Amorim's time at United. It's not. It shouldn't be used as a barometer of how his time at United is going to be. I do think, as I said before, controversially, I know a lot of United fans may disagree with me. I do think if we are not ready for the Champions League next season, I think it could set Amorim back very big. It set Ten Hag back. It set Solskjaer back when he got into the Champions League. You know, well, you could say it set Mourinho back as well. I think Amorim needs a season where he can coach these, and we're going to get new players this summer as well. So the team is going to be totally different from what we've got now. So do we need midweek distractions? And you know, I fear that if we get Champions League, we're going to be finishing bottom half of the table again because the players aren't ready for the elite level.
You don't want to win it, Anthony. Is that what I'm hearing here? You don't want to win it.
I'm in a catch-22. I do want to win it because it's a big trophy. You know, United, you got to be in it to win it. But then again, it could be a curse for Amorim. It could set him back. So I'm not too sure how I feel. But I would love to win it because it's a final and we're United. We have to win.
And look, and a lot of the Man United fans are saying we can't lose to Spurs. Surely. That's what you're hearing, right, guys? That's what I've been listening in. That you can't lose to Spurs. Spurs, you know. Yeah. So is there a bit of that?
Yeah, definitely. With the injuries we've got right now, when I heard Maddison, Kulusevski, and Bergvall, I was like, oh guys, we can't lose this. It will be very embarrassing. And the thing is, I got a lot of Arsenal fans as friends, so the amount of stick. If we do lose this, I'm not looking forward to that.
Look, guys, for me, I mean, it is massive if we win tomorrow, man. I just ain't seen enough of it. And I mean, for the season we've had, if we win a trophy, man, that is fantastic, and it gets us in the Champions League. It changes a lot of things. It helps us when if we are going to get rid of Ange, attracting better managers, better players. We must win tomorrow. And
it's make or break, Dan.
It
It's
is
make
make
or
or
break.
break. 100%. 100% it's make or break. And I think I'll be really disappointed if we don't win it because Man United are not that great. It's not like
They
a
are-
vintage Man U side, is it?
No, they are not Man United anymore, and they haven't been that for the past 10 years. But the past 2 years, 3 years now, by Man United standards, they have had a worse season than us. I mean, if someone would have said Spurs in 16th, 17th, you would have raised an eyebrow 5-10 years ago and like, really? They ain't that bad. But then it's Spurs, isn't it? Anything is possible. You would have turned around and said Man U in 16th. And someone would have said, please give me some of what you're on because I want to get as high as that, basically, if you agree with that. You see where I'm coming from? It would be like, no, mate, you next time just say no, you know? But with Spurs, you could turn around and say it's anything's possible at Spurs. We know that. Whereas Man U, you would have not believed Man U were in 16th. Never. 10 years ago. Even 5 years ago, you would not have believed that.
We could say about Spurs as well, though. No one thought we'd be this bad, really, would we?
Yeah, but who are you more gobsmacked with, Man U or Spurs?
Man U, because of their heritage, I
That's
guess.
what I'm saying. And then with Spurs, you just know that anything is possible. I mean, if anyone can cock anything up or just make a mountain out of a molehill, we all know it is Tottenham. So, I mean, again, you would have still raised an eyebrow like 17th. We're not that bad, for God's sake, whatever, and that. But you say Man U 16th, that would have sort of made your jaw drop 10 years ago. Like, mate, you're on it. Like, say no, sort of thing. But it is what it is. Who would have said that 16th and 17th are going to be in the Premier League, are going to be in the final of the Europa Cup fighting for a bloody Champions League place?
People are struggling with it, aren't they? If you listen to other Arsenal fans particularly, they're like, oh, what are they doing there? This is not fair. They shouldn't get Champions League football. They're rubbish. They're really, really struggling with it. And knowing that they've not won nothing this season and that one of the two clubs can win something and get Champions League, they hate it. They absolutely hate it. It's crazy, isn't it? Guys, madness.
And basically, it is what it is. Even if you get relegated, if you go win that Europa, the rules are you go in the Champions League. End of. Deal with it. It just looks very, very wrong that a team that finishes 16th and 17th goes in the Champions League. It don't look right. It looks wrong. But the rules are the rules. Yeah. If they didn't change the Europa Cup to the fact that you win it, you get in the Champions League, nobody would take the Europa seriously. Really. I mean, look how much of a mess of a cup it was before they made that decision. No one was particularly bothered about it, basically. It was nearly as small as the conference. Nobody really cared. As soon as they changed it so that you get in the Champions League, then people started putting more effort in as such. It's
a showdown.
Exactly.
Sorry, mate. It goes to show how weak a lot of these European sides are, though, when you've got two Premier League sides, 16th and 17th in a final.
Yeah, but Frankfurt are going to qualify for the Champions League next year. Bilbao probably as well. So, beating them.
But that's where they've done it in the league, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's acceptable. But to be 16th and 17th and get into the Champions League is a bit of a piss take in its own way, sort of thing. But that is the rules. You win that cup, you get to there. You win the Conference Cup, you get into the Europa Cup. You win the League Cup, you get into, I think, is it the Conference Cup or do you get, it's the conference you get into, isn't it? Or is it the open stages of the Europa? I can't remember. But FA Cup,
I think
you get into the Europa.
Yeah.
In the FA, you get into, those are the rules. So like it or lump it, people.
Yeah. Exactly.
How important are Van der Ven and Romero tomorrow? And you could say Vicario, you could say the fullbacks as well. That back line, I mean, I saw a stat the other day that out of 20 games, we've won 15 with that back line. Did anyone see that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's massive that they're hopefully, touch wood, all fit and they've got through training today. They have to stay fit for this game. We can't afford any injuries during the game. We can't afford Romero to lose his head and get booked in the first minutes. They have to be disciplined and professional. And if they are, we've got half a chance.
Right, guys, let's start calling it now. Predictions, right? Everybody in the chat as well. Give us your predictions. Be bold, be brave. Obviously, your heart wants us to win, but what is your head telling you? Let's go round. Whoever wants to kick off first, jump in. I mean, Dan, you said 2-1. I mean, it just kind of give us a little bit more clarity on that. What's your kind of confidence in that?
I think we're going to do it 2-1 for the reason being, I just think we've got that little bit more than Man U as such. I think the players have got a little bit more to actually try and prove something for this season. I think a few of the Man U players, they're almost a bit too smug for themselves. I think you can say that about a lot of players. I think that about Romero basically. But
they think they're just going to win it, Dan? Do you think they're just going to walk into that final thinking they've got it?
No, I don't think that. I don't know. The Man U players just come across with a bit more like, I don't quite know how to describe it properly, a bit stuck up themselves a little bit more. And I just think we're going to go out there and have that little extra bit of passion than what they are.
Okay.
Because I think also Man U know there is going to be a massive change around over the next 2 seasons where a lot of those players are going to go, a lot of those players are going to come in. It's also the same sort of thing like when we played against Villa. Why was anyone going to come on there and give it their all when they know they was going to never, ever make it to the final? Even if Mikey Moore scored 4 goals in 2 games or scored 4 goals a game, he knows he ain't making that final come love nor money. Enzo knew that if he blocked 10 shots on the goal, he still is not getting in front of Romero. Again, down to the manager. I just think we've got that one step over them. They might have a point to prove with us where we've done them 3 times, but that can also bite you in the arse as well. I just think it's going to be that thin line between who wants it more and then who gets desperate. Because whoever gets desperate is the one that's going to lose it. And I just think we've got that little bit, and I'm saying 55-45 Spurs sort of thing, that little bit more than Man U at the moment. I mean, their season has been more of a disaster than ours. They are Manchester United, for God's sake. We are only Tottenham Hotspur, and I do say only, compared to Manchester United. So I just think we've got that little bit extra on them. I think they've also got that pressure on them that we haven't, of that they are Manchester United. They do win on finals. Look at their trophy cabinet. Look at who they are. They're almost expected in the back of their minds to win this. It is only Tottenham Hotspur, for God's sake. I mean, how did Fergie say it in his book at enough times? He didn't even used to do tactics with them. He used to just sit them down and say, come on, boys, it's Spurs. And that was it. I've read both his autobiographies.
I think this is a different Man U team now, though, isn't it? This is a far away from
of course,
fantastic teams. I mean, look, they beat City, didn't they, last season? Was maybe City weren't on it enough that day, but they still good result, man. And then Newcastle they beat as well the season before. So, they get it over the line, don't they? So, Almiron, I don't know. I don't really know about this Almiron. Dan, what do you think of Almiron so far? Because you didn't join at the beginning. We were talking about him. What's going on with him?
He's a manager that I wanted at Spurs. I think they got to stick with him. And what I mean by stick with him, look what Ange has had. He's had 2 seasons, 400 million for God's sake, and he's dragged us down to 17th place. Okay, he's got us to a final. Well done, mate. There's your Blue Peter badge. I appreciate it. But that's 400 million he's had in his back pocket. That whole team, basically, bar one player, is his that he has picked. And he can't seem to get them to play his way of football. And he hasn't got the common knowledge to adapt his football to the team he's got, i.e. play with the cards he's got. So Ange has got to go, come love nor money. He's proven that he cannot adapt to the team he has got. Otherwise, when we had those injuries, he would have changed things around a little bit. Right, we haven't got the goalkeeper. We ain't got the defenders. We ain't got this. We do have to defend more. Because come love nor money, we haven't got our mate. No, we just go gung-ho football and get smashed every game. And that's why he's got to go. But Almiron, he hasn't... What has he had? What? 1 player in and 1 loan, if I remember right? Is it 2 players?
He's had nothing.
I think he's had at least 1 player in, if I remember right. They've had 1 player in. And I was the first one. You give a manager a year, you see what he does, and then in the second season, you see what he builds with it. If the second season it just falls off a cliff like it has with us, the manager has got to go. Look what Roma did. They had the worst start they have had in like 17 or 18 years. So they sacked the manager. Next one came in. He was just as bad and it weren't working. So he sacked the manager again. They then bring in the third manager. They're now something like 5th or 6th, if I remember right, 6th or 7th, and they're fighting for a Champions League place and went 17 games unbeaten. If it is not working, you have got to get rid of the problem. And Ange is the problem.
Yeah, you're right.
He
Dan.
hasn't had time.
Yeah.
Amorim has not had the time
Yeah.
to fix the problems. Ange has. He has picked that team and he has walked it off a cliff. Literally. Like a bunch of lemmings, just falling down it. There's no bounce with it. It's just down. Amorim, he's basically come into Man U when, rough and ragged as they were, they haven't got better with him. But he's only had what?
6 months.
6 months? Exactly. That's a bit different to 24 months. Now, you give him to the start of next season, spend his money on the players he does want, because he hasn't had a chance to do that. He's only had a January and got, what, one player. And then you take the progression from there. Now, if we would have ended up with the injuries and ended up, say, 8th or 9th and got in a final, you could push it back a bit and say, do you know what? You have had some injuries and we can take this. But 17th, no, you're not good enough. This is where I think they've got to stick with him for at least another year to see if he can start making something out of what they got as such.
Yeah, he needs time, Amorim. You've got to give him time. I mean, they've got worse, haven't they, since he's come in? Because I think under Ten Hag, where were they in the league, Anthony? They weren't that low.
I think
we were 8th.
8th, yeah. So it's a big change, isn't it? But again, he hasn't had his plays. You've got to give a manager time. So I agree with you, Dan. Look, what about what Ange said today in his press conference about this clown? Anyone read that or see it? See that what he said going on about the clown?
Yeah.
He got called a clown, didn't he?
Did he got called a clown? What, in
somebody.
the press conference?
He said, yeah, I can't remember exactly what was said, but you know, if they lose, he's something like if Spurs lose, and you're going to be deemed as a clown, and if they win, and then he said, oh, you know, I've never been a clown, and he didn't appreciate being called it or something like that. But
massive pressure on him tomorrow.
No one's
Pull it
going to
off.
appreciate being called a clown, are they? But if you can't handle that shit, then he's in the wrong job. This is what I think is the problem with some of the players these days. Maybe it's just the modern day mentality of how weak it mentally it is. These days, you can say something to someone and they'll sit on the floor and want to end everything. To me, it's only sticks and stones. And if you can't take the abuse for when you're playing crap, then as far as I'm concerned, you haven't got the right to stand there and have sunshine blown up your ass when you're doing good. For me, there's two ways of everything. There's left, there's right, up, down, hate, love, whatever way you want to put it. If you want sunshine blown up your ass when you're doing good, then you've also got to take the shit that comes with it as well. But they don't like to do that. All of a sudden, they can't handle that, and they don't want to be on social media. And they don't. Look at Ange when he was getting the questions, when it was all good. He was all hunky-dory, not a problem. Everything's cushy, mate, all sweet. As soon as he gets questioned a couple of times because it was going wrong, he starts getting all moody and getting his knickers in a twist. If you can't take it, then why are you even in that job? But that's just an opinion.
Well, I don't know. This guy, Ange, would you be happy for him if he wins it tomorrow, guys, on the panel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's taken a lot of shit, isn't he? He's taken a lot of shit, man. He's taken a lot. I've slagged him off all season. I mean, I will be happy for him if he does it. Very.
in all fairness, Dan, he's on $5 million a year.
Yeah, I know that.
You know what I mean?
You know.
Yeah, I get that. That
I'm
helps.
Spurs if we win.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I've grilled you that you've lost 21 games for us, or maybe 22 for us this year. Made us finish 17th, mate. Sorry if that hurts your feelings and that. I'm sure that 5 million tickle your ass quite nicely. That is where they just. I don't have no. Like I said, it's dog eat dog. If you are good enough, you get the credit for it. If you're bad enough, so if it's been out of order and far too hard on the grief we've given him, then he deserves no credit for winning that cup either. You can't have one or the other. You got to have both. You can't just have it one way. The world always works in two ways with that. So if he wants the credit for the cup if he wins it, then we also have to get credit towards Daniel Levy, because everybody says Daniel Levy is the reason why we have nothing. And he is the fault that we have nothing at the club and we win no cups and that. So if we win this, the players need the credit, Ange needs the credit, and Levy gets the credit. It's how it works. You've got to give credit where it's due. If you're going to slate them all the time for when they're doing bad, you've also got to give them credit for when they're doing good. And then it works the other way around. If they want the credit all the time for when they're doing good, then you've got to also slate them when they're doing bad, and they got to accept it. But they just don't like getting told that they're not doing well. They just want the sunshine.
So I've got the actual quote now. I've seen it. So Ange was asked, "What do you respond to this?" So it's been reported by someone that if you don't win that final, you'll be a clown. So if you win it, you're a hero. If you lose it, you're a clown. And then he said, "I'll tell you one thing. Irrespective of tomorrow, I'm not a clown and never will be."
Let's hope not.
Is it though? He's not a clown, but he's just a bad manager, isn't he? If
It's
he
a
loses
figure
it.
of speech, for God's
You
sake.
can't, you can't take banter.
Yeah, it's a figure. It's a figure of speech, for God's sake.
Exactly.
Whenever someone wants to give you a bit of disrespect or whatever, they label you as an object or a thing.
Mm.
That's just the way it is. Welcome to the real world, Ange. Sorry, mate. If you can't take the shit, then don't expect to be praised as well at the same time. Yeah, no one's going to be like being called a clown, but I bet he ain't going to mind if he wins that cup and everyone calls him the next best thing since sliced bread, are they? I bet he ain't going to complain then.
No,
Again,
exactly.
you can't have it one way. It has to work both ways.
Definitely.
This is the debate I had with Ian earlier when he was saying no, Levy gets no respect or credit for this. I'm like, bollocks. If he gets all the stick that we've got nothing, he's got to get some of the stick. He's got to get some of the credit that we got something. It's got to work both ways if you want to be fair in life, is the way I see it.
Yeah,
and I try to be fair.
That doesn't mean we don't want Levy out still. It's just that you have to give him credit.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if Timo Werner played in this game, for example, and all of a sudden scored the goal in the last minute, you'd still turn around and say he's a dog shit of a player. But do you know what? Fair play, mate. Credit where it's due. You got us that goal that won us the cup. What's so hard in that?
Right. Guys, I've got to wrap it up shortly. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I just want final thoughts about tomorrow. Anything anybody wants to say. Look, we're all getting ready for it, man. It's massive game. And we don't know what's going to happen. We really don't. It could go either way, really. It's not like a clear favourite, is there?
Yeah.
55-45 to Spurs, 2-1 Spurs. And it's going to be an edgy game. Because both have got so much to win or lose on this game. It's
going to be a horrible game of football, isn't it? It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be
possibly. I think if you see two early goals, then I think you're going to see a 4-3. The longer and longer it goes on without a goal, I think the more and more Spurs West Ham game this is going to be. If you see where I'm coming from, it's one or the other. There's no in betweener for me on this one. And if I'm going to be honest, I'd rather it be a chaotic one that nearly wants you to put the own bottle over your own head 4-3 win sort of thing on the last minute than some poxy 1-1 game that drags to the last. That is just, it almost puts you in depression watching it. But again, that's just my side.
I think this is going all the way. I can see this going to extra time and maybe penalties. It's what Spurs do. They never make it easy, do they? Never make it easy. It's not going to be. What would be lovely is if we turn up, smash 3 goals in the first half. We're 3-0 up by half time. We haven't got Forster and go to cock up like he did in the League Cup, and we just comfortably win. But Tottenham don't do that. We will make it hard for ourselves. No, it's going to be an extra time game, definitely.
Oh no!
I think we win. I think we win after extra time.
Yeah. Ooh, I think if Tottenham are to win, they got to make sure they do it in real time. For me, I think if we got extra time, I think we'll win.
Because of the bench, yeah, you got the players off the bench.
Yeah, and because we know how to win late on.
That's my fear. United score a lot of late goals.
we seem to fall apart in the last 15, 20 minutes, don't we? Get complacent. That's why I'm saying I think I'd rather be 1-0 up with 20 minutes to go, 15 minutes to go than 2-0 up. Because I think that's where the complacency with Spurs does set in. Spurs as a team on a whole thing, basically, of he's like your mate next to you that's won the lottery, looking at the lottery tickets. He's just won 140 million and he's still looking at the numbers, and you have to slap him in the face to tell him, like, there's your numbers. We always make a mountain out of a molehill. Everything, every time, without fail.
Yeah, look, guys, what's your little rituals tomorrow? What's your plans? I mean, because you're gonna just be thinking about the evening all day. What's your plans? You working tomorrow? You chilling at home? Are what's the little plan tomorrow, guys? Anthony, what are you doing tomorrow? Just a normal day for you?
Yeah, normal day until it hits 5 o'clock. Then I'm crapping myself. The nerves are gonna kick in.
Me, I'm off tomorrow because my my little one's got chicken pox. So I've got to look after him tomorrow.
Right.
So so it's not too good. But look, I'm going down to my local pub.
Nice.
Hopefully there'll be some atmosphere down there. There's some Spurs fans. I don't know many people in the area, so look, just get involved. I'm picking a rowdy pub. Yeah, I'm particularly picking a rowdy one for the atmosphere, because it'll be good if it gets a bit lively. But Dan, any plans particularly tomorrow? You streaming?
I've had options go down the pub. I've had options to go up London. Do you know what? It's just got me to the point now where if it does go wrong in the pub, there'd probably be repercussions. So I'm just going to stay indoors and watch it with my bottle of Southern Comfort instead of go up the pub and do it. I just think it's going to be safer for me doing it that way. And then speak to people while they're online and do it and like whatever. I just think that's how it's going to be safer for me, basically. Because if I'm in a pub with a load of Arsenal supporters and Chelsea supporters and whatever, which there is a lot in my area, and it starts getting, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to take after a few drinks without saying something back, and then we all know how a pub can go from there and how I've seen our local go many a time from there. So I'm just going to stay out of it. I ain't going up London for it. I weren't paying the thousands to go abroad to watch it. I'm just going to sit in my little man cave, shut the door. I might have a mate or two over, going to have my bottle of Southern Comfort with me and just watch the game.
Try and enjoy it.
Take it from there.
Try and enjoy it, man. Yeah, because look, we don't make many finals, and we can win this. We can win this.
It's just how painful this season has been. I'm probably going to need more than a pizza to enjoy it, if you know what I mean. It's just one of them things. But horrible. Come on, we can do this. I think we can do this.
Yeah, we can. We can do it. We must do it. If we don't, it's just mayhem. If we lose that, worst season, for how many years? I don't know. I've lost track now. Is it officially the worst season now? Is it under Ange?
Yes.
Guys? Is it officially in the Premier League? Yeah.
Yes. He would be our worst manager ever, but our most successful manager.
This is
it's got Spurs written all over it. It's got Spurs. This is what I mean. But I'll leave it at that, mate. It's
the scenes if we win it as well, man. Oh my days. Look, guys, gonna go now. Get an early night before tomorrow. Thank you for everyone who jumped on. Adrian jumping on earlier.
Thanks for having me.
Dan, mate, appreciate you jumping on as well. Much appreciated.
Thanks for having us on, man. Much appreciated.
Thanks for having me.
And Anthony as well, man. Thank you for coming on yourself.
Thank you.
Nige, as always. Big up to everyone watched. Please smash the like button if you can. Subscribe to us all. That'd be much appreciated. And look, we got to win it tomorrow, guys. We got to win it. We must. And look, let's pray we do. But anyway, guys, good night to you all. Take care of yourselves. And come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you
United.
Spurs. Fuck off.